Sounding good. Brand new music. Kill Devil Hill, second album. Coming out October 29th, and that track is called Crown of Thorns. And joining me here in the studio, the one and only Rex Brown. What's going on, brother?
Not a man. New York City. Doing the city thing.
Doing the press run, the press junket.
Trying to get the music out there.
You're either in New York or L.A. if you're doing the press rounds, right?
That's it. I was here doing a clinic last night, so we thought, let's stay an extra day and do some radio, you know?
Well, you got to be excited, man, to finally have this second record going.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Sounding great.
This is one of my favorite records I've done in a long time.
You know, it's interesting for me to see the evolution of this band, because I remember before the first record, we were talking about L.A. earlier, where you're going to do on the day of this release, October 29th, you're going to do a big release show at the Roxy in L.A. So we have listeners all over the country and the world, various ways. So if you're in that area, don't miss that. But I remember sitting in the Rainbow with you guys before I even heard the name Kill Devil Hill. And you and Vinny and Mark and Dewey sitting there. I didn't know Mark and Dewey at the time. I just met him. And Vinny was like, yeah, I got this new band. And the demos for the first record, and you guys talked Mario at the Rainbow into playing them. Right. And that was the first time I heard Kill Devil Hill out on the patio. And Vinny's like, listen to this. And, you know, it's hard to listen to music and the Rainbow people talking. Sure. It still sounded cool, though. And, you know, that was my first introduction to the band, and here we are a few years later with two records.
Two records, yeah. You know, the last one came out, and then the record label went down 3 weeks later. So there we were with a great record on our hands with no promotion or anything to do it. So we got out there and played some shows and, you know, finished with the Alice Cooper run, and we decided, let's just go back in the studio and make some music. And we did it at Pilson's house.
Jeff Pilson.
And he co-produced it with us. He's awesome when it comes to, you know, he's such a great singer and really helped Dewey really come into his own on this one. And I'm really proud of Dewey. Really, really proud. He's singing his ever-living ass off on this thing. So, and we wrote it in spurts just because of scheduling. In hindsight, it was probably real good we did it that way. But it was very, very different to make. You know, we'd start at 11 in the morning and finish at 7 because it's at his house, you know. So a
Jeff's
different way of making a record.
Is right in his house?
At his house.
So his kids are waking up? And
yeah, you know, 11 o'clock in the morning until 7 at night. You know, so that's rock and roll hours.
Those are early.
You start about 7.
Oh, that's early, yeah.
So a different way to make the record. We got it done, though, man. And I'm really proud of it.
It sounds great. It's got that thick sound, that great bottom end with you and Vinny. As you said, you know, you got Mark sounding great, and Dewey's pipes are just unbelievable. And I mean, having seen you guys live now, and I saw you play. Where was it? At the
Key Club or something.
Key Club. Yeah. I mean, just knocking it out live. I mean, so good. And to see the progression of the band, for me, having been there when those demos for the first record, then the first record, and now bridge into this. I mean, you guys have put a lot of work into this. I mean, for people that don't know, I remember on the last tour when you were going out, I mean, Vinny was telling me he was driving his own car, following you guys in the van. I mean, you're out there doing it old school. For people that think, here's a guy, yourself and Pantera, here's Vinny coming from Sabbath and all the things he's done. You must be out there on private jets tooling around and jumping in at dates. You guys got out there and really got your hands dirty, didn't you?
Well, nobody wanted to foot the bill. You know? So, you know, in 2.5 years, we've come a long way. We've covered a lot of miles. And I think that's just from, you know, experience and you know, stay in the game, you know.
Was it a good kind of bonding experience for the band, for the four of you guys to go out and play in, you know, some small clubs, maybe not a ton of people there on certain nights, getting in vans, getting in cars, driving together, really nose to the grindstone? Did it really help? Do you feel the chemistry of the band?
I think that has something to do with it. Anytime you put so many shows together back to back, you know, you're only as good as your last gig, you know, for sure. But everything really, you know, the form that we do in those the Cooper run really I mean, we were playing his audience is 12 to 68.
Yeah.
And Dew would have them up on the seats. They would be sitting the whole time, until about halfway through the show. And that's the kind of form this band needs to be in, But you still, the way the business is these days, there's not a gimme, especially if you don't have a record company behind you. And that's the blessing we have with Century Media. They are behind exactly what we want to do.
So you have a new record company for this second record.
Absolutely.
And this is their first record that they're getting, and you have a good plan going forward.
Yeah, more of the family vibe. We want to make music. I want a home for my music for a while, like I had before. With Pantera and Warner and stuff like that.
Right.
So you're not flopping around all over the place. That's not conducive to you. You want somebody that's going to be there.
Right. Well, I think it's amazing the commitment that you have to this, and rightfully so, because I think it really is a solid band and I really love the first record. I'm just starting to live with the new record, but what I've heard of it is, sounds phenomenal.
Thanks, bro.
And, it's easy. You see it a lot. Guys like, for Mark and Dewey, it's different because this is all kind of new to them in some ways, right. A band of this stature. But for yourself and to have Vinny Appice in there, I mean, it'd be easy for you guys to say, oh, man, the first record, the label went down. It didn't go big time. We're going to kind of duck out of this and go do something else. It's great to see that you guys are really committed. This is a real band that you really want to make happen.
No, you got to stick to your guns. And the whole thing is making that fan base and try to have that following. And, with the social networking that's out there now, there's just so many places that you can find, so it's even with that help of this do-it-yourself, DIY attitude that we kind of bring with it. You have to be out there playing, man. Yeah. I mean, you have to be out there playing nonstop, and that's we just got to a point where we said we were pretty hot to put some new material out. Yeah. So instead of, we toured for half a year. The first record took us 28 days. It took us 6 months to do this one.
Wow.
So we really put in the hard work on this one, and we really put a lot of thought into what we were going to do with this one.
Well, we're going to play more from the upcoming new album from Kill Devil Hill, which is out on October 29th. As I said, I got an action-packed show here, so Rex is going to hang out with us till the end of the show, so we got more to do with him. But right after the break, we're going to be joined by Joe Satriani, who's currently on tour, and he'll give us a call and check in live from the road. It'll be good to catch up with Satch for a little bit. And then after that, we'll continue with more with, of course, music, more new Kill Devil Hill, and more with Rex Brown hanging out. It's Eddie Trunk. We're just getting started. 2 hours plus still to go, so don't go anywhere.
Does this guy know how to party or what? Huh?
Friday Night Rocks with Eddie Trunk. Q1043.
Don't forget, Tuesday, Hard Rock Cafe, 6:30. Be there for the launch of my new book in the merch store, Times Square, Hard Rock, this Tuesday, 6:30. See you there.
4-3.
Trunk here. We got our second hour of our weekly 3-hour get-together coming up. Don't forget, my new book is available everywhere books are sold now. Volume 2 of Essential Hard Rock and Heavy Metal. Check it out. And also just opened a merch store on eddietrunk.com, so be sure to check that out as well. We got Rex Brown hanging out. We'll talk more with him, get into some more new Kill Devil Hill as well. Expecting a call any minute from Joe Satriani. We'll talk to him. This is Megadeth covering Thin Lizzy on their new album, Super Collider, and a great version of Cold Sweat. Joe Satriani joining us live next. It's Eddie Trunk. We have Rex Brown sitting in with us. Rex got a chance to get a little coffee, get a little break, and we'll resume with him for the remaining 90 minutes of the show. He'll be sitting in as we took a little break there to talk to Satch. So we'll come back. We'll get some more new Kill Devil Hill for the first time on for you here. Continue talking with Rex and get into some other music and some other things as well. Over 90 minutes to go. It's Eddie Trunk. Hang out. Much more to come.
This is Q1043's Friday Night Rocks.
Let me tell you about the upcoming show schedule. It includes 2 dates in the area for UFO. October 6th, Starland Ballroom, Sayreville, New Jersey. And October 15th, Stage 48, 48th Street in Manhattan. UFO doesn't get to America all that often, so be sure to get out there and check him out. Also coming to BB King's November 1st, Rick Emmett of Triumph. Triumph really doesn't exist anymore, so if you want to hear Triumph songs live, that would be the place to go. Overkill and Creator, 2 shows. Overkill just got done opening a gig for Maiden. I was so happy to see them get that shot on the West Coast. They're back headlining, co-headlining with Creator 2 nights, Stage 48 in Manhattan, November 23rd and 24th, Overkill and Creator. Some tickets for Rick Emmett right now for that gig I just told you about, the voice and guitar of Triumph at BB King's. A couple random callers at 888-872-1043. If you missed anything, link to it off eddietrunk.com, and you can get more information and buy tickets as well. Also, once again, please come out this coming Tuesday. My new book is released Tuesday. I launch it right here in New York City at the Hard Rock in Times Square, 6:30 to 8:30. I will be in the merch store at the Hard Rock signing copies the first day of its release of Eddie Trunk's Essential Hard Rock and Heavy Metal Volume 2. Hope to see you out. No admission of any kind. Just come down, hang out, grab a book if you want. If you can't afford a book, you can. They're not expensive. They're less than $20, but you can also just come down and say hello. It's going to be a big celebration. Very excited to finally have book number 2 out this Tuesday, available anywhere books are sold. The signings, Tuesday, 6:30 to 8:30, Hard Rock in Times Square. This Wednesday, Barnes & Noble, Morris Plains, New Jersey, stone's throw from home. So come out to that. And for my Jersey crowd, please come and see me there. Wednesday, Barnes & Noble, Route 10, Morris Plains, New Jersey, 7 to 9. And if you're on Staten Island, that's this Thursday. Also Barnes & Noble, 7 to 9 on Staten Island. But it all starts at the Hard Rock Tuesday night at 6:30. More information on my site. Good luck on the Rick Emmett tickets, and I hope to see you at these area book signings. One other Jersey one to mention then I go across the country. I come back and end in the area, Eatontown, New Jersey, Barnes & Noble. That's October 11th. Again, check my site for all the book signing information. And please pick up the new book this Tuesday, wherever books are sold, physically and digitally. Thank you, as always, for all the support. All right, we took a little break there from speaking with Rex Brown, who is joining us live in the studio to spend a few minutes with Joe Satriani, who was calling from the road. And now, good little break there for you, Rex. Got to get a little drink, get a little smoke, whatever you need to do, and now you're back in.
Let's rock.
I don't get a break, but you get to have a break. That was nice.
That's your show, Eddie.
I know. Listen, man, I mentioned this to you when you first walk in, though. You look great, man. You have a glow about you. Your skin looks good. You're feeling good.
Kick, man.
Yeah, tell me about that. What are you doing?
Just a bunch of natural herbs and supplements that for the rock and roll lifestyle over the last 25 years, it'll accumulate. Your gut's like a second brain, so you got to get just cleanse it all out. And that's what I've been doing. And
well, it's
working. I don't even want to go near a drink.
That's awesome,
it's
man.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Congratulations. So
cool.
You just like that. Did you wake up one day and just be like, I'm making a
Pretty
change? Did anything happen? You've had scares, of course, in the past with your health.
Of course.
Serious scares.
Yeah, it was a period of really wanting to stop and really having that will to do it, And it just, the amount of time I spend being healthy, and I consider it back to the time I spent, just getting rotted, I'd rather be healthy, stick around. I got a lot of good music left in me, what I'm saying?
That's for sure. Just listening to this new Kill Devil Hill, and we'll play something more from it in a second. But it's interesting because you are, what are you, in your late 40s now? Mm-hmm. You've been through it all, and even with the really serious scares you had in your past, it wasn't any scare. It was anything. It was just literally waking up one day and saying, you know what, enough of this, and I'm going to make a real big change.
Just tired of it. Being sick and tired.
No, it wasn't a rehab. It was nothing. It was just.
I had a lot of support, a lot of good friends of both of ours, and also really good help from my lovely significant other.
Right. So you feel good. You look good.
Thank you. I feel great, man.
You look totally
awesome.
Great. When was the last time you had a drink?
6 months ago.
Really?
Like yeah.
Good for you. Congrats. And what's the health regimen? What are you doing? What are you green tea? Is it juicing? What are we doing? Vitamins?
Did some research with my girl, and she brought to my attention that it's a program called My Way Out, and it's just it's a combination of a lot of amino acids and a lot of milk thistle, good, just stuff for your liver, just a lot of good detox stuff, and just been eating. Also, you have to put the diet with it, and there's also it's going to sound really weird. It's not rocking, but it's rocking to me. It's hypnotic tapes that are really, really help.
That just help you stay on track.
Yeah, you just listen to these things for like an hour, 40 minutes in the afternoon, and it's just wonderful. It's unbelievable.
You were always super thin, and you still are now. I mean, which a guy like me
but I've gained,
hates you for that.
Right.
But I mean, you
But I put on 24 pounds and or more.
Really?
Yeah.
My God, you still look super thin to me.
It's all muscle, baby.
Yeah, but I mean, that's, what do you eat? Do you eat anything you want pretty much?
Yeah, and a lot of it,
Oh, you always had a metabolism
2 shakes
like
a day.
that?
I mean, I do, before I even get out of the door, I have 1,400 calories in me, so.
Wow. So for a guy like you, I mean,
it's just a real high metabolism is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, most of the world's running around trying to lose weight. You probably, most of your life, tried to gain weight.
Yeah, certainly. And then after the surgery, they said, well, you're never going to be the same weight. So as long as I'm eating good and healthy, and I don't want to be, super jock and, do that whole routine. That's
the surgery. Which surgery? Now, tell me about your surgery.
That was a pancreas surgery.
For the pancreas.
But that was 2 years ago, and
right.
I quit. I mean, this is my first rodeo sobriety. I've been off and on for 6 out of the last 10 years sober.
So when you said you'd never be the same weight when they told you after the surgery for your pancreas,
them wrong.
But did they tell you would be thin or you'd put weight on? What was the result?
I would be thin. I got lucky. A lot of people that have this, disease, they have to take pain pills to just eat mashed potatoes.
Wow.
So got some really good doctors. But this that I'm doing now is basically on my own research and that of my girls, and just constantly reading about a good healthy way to eat, which is we're going to test on the road for sure.
Well, I was just going to ask you, I mean, because I know for me, I just dropped about 60 pounds, and I did it by just being smart. I still need some more to go, but I did it by being smart, just very boring diet, exercise, and just being smart about what I eat. I've always had the reverse problem of you, of course.
Right.
And I just came from the road, and I have a huge road coming up with the book and going out of the country and all this stuff I've got going right now, which is great. But I get crushed when I break out of my routine and get away from home.
Yeah, and it can do it to you, and it creeps up on you. But you got to,
I mean, I do my best when I'm in a hotel. I'll find a fitness center and I'll try to knock out an hour on the machine or do something just to keep moving. But like at home, I've got, I just eat a little less. I just change. I'm not on any plan, but you got your blender. I got my fruit. I got my protein drinks.
Absolutely.
You get on the road, all that stuff. It's just like you grabbing something and moving and going.
Yeah, I never took aspirin, before any of this, happened. So it's definitely different. It's a different road, but I'm loving it.
Do you worry about your sobriety on the road?
Not at all. People can drink around me, whatever, as long as I'm not. As long as I'm not touching. I'm not. The lady that did this, she had a son that had I think some kind of multiple sclerosis disorder, and so she was a chemist, a medical chemist, and she was trying to find ways to help her son because she didn't, the drug companies and everything out there that they'll give you another pill for something else that it's not. So she would put all these things together, and she found herself drinking heavily over the deal. And so she goes, well, I'm just going to put together, let's see if I can find a program that'll help the cravings of this and getting off of that lifestyle that she, didn't realize that one day that she had, just out of the medical profession, very high caliber, that, she'd turn into an alcoholic. And so by putting all these, she did her lessons, and I've read all the reports and from doctors and everything that came out about 10 years ago. If I would have known this 10 years ago, what I know now,
Right.
you know, and or a lot of people that have passed about this, what I know now, it'd be a different story, you know. Probably.
Well, good for you, man. I'm glad that this has happened. You look great, and you just tell your whole presence is totally different, man.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
And it's really good to see. And I mean, I think about a guy like you, and a guy that also I was really worried about for a long time was Zach. I mean, Zach was a guy. I can't tell you how many times I had Zach in this studio out of his mind over the years.
Guess who was the first guy to call me?
Was he about the change you made, or
the next morning, actually?
With what? When he got.
Well, I knew that it was premeditated for me, you know.
Oh, so he called to encourage you.
He absolutely every day for a while. He's been a great support. He played. It was funny. We were finishing the record, and I said, "Man, I want you want to play on the record? Like, call him at 10 in the morning." He goes, "Send it out." You know, Zach.
Yeah.
He just rips. You can hear the smoke coming off the fretboard on the record.
He's on a track on the new album
called
from Kill Devil Hill, the first song, No Way Out. And, for Zach, I mean, I've known him so long. I knew Zach before he was Zach, when he was a kid named Jeff playing on the Jersey club circuit. And to see him, I mean, his situation was different because he literally got told you either change or you die.
Right, blood clots.
Blood clots. So his thing was different. I mean, in a lot of ways, I think that it's been a blessing in disguise that happened for him, because I mean, he literally cannot drink or he dies because he's on medicine. So I think that it's been a huge blessing in disguise, and he's a changed guy for the better as well. And we need guys like Rex Brown. We need guys like Zach around making all this great music.
Yeah,
so
Zach, he's still crazier than a bat out of hell.
Oh, without a doubt.
And so am I.
Yeah,
right. You can't take that away from us.
Exactly.
That's just all there is to it.
And you'd want it no other way.
No, absolutely not. So, it's just, man, it's just about the music, and however way you're going to be happy doing it. And I just got tired of the same old.
Well, good for you, man. There's a lot to talk about with Rex Brown. We can play two more tracks. If you just joined us, we played a track earlier already in the show from the upcoming new Kill Devil Hill record. And we can play and world premiere now, two more tracks. One we're going to do right now, and the other we're going to end the show with, because I'm told it's a little ballady, and we always end the show with a ballad. So we'll do something new from Kill Devil Hill. The album is out October 29th, and you can go to killdevilhillmusic.com for more. Facebook.com/killdevilhillmusic. You're not a Twitter guy. You don't do Twitter.
No, it's on there, but I don't ever twit.
So there's no @Rex Brown or anything like that.
There's an account there, but I seldom use it.
All right, but it's there in case you ever get the urge one day.
I don't get into all that crap.
Never got into any of it.
Not really. Not tweeting back and forth or whatever you call tweeting.
Well, I understand.
Fruitsy, dude.
I understand, but there is
there's some good gains of it.
It's a good way to stay in touch with people. And you don't have to go back and forth. You can just pump out, here's what you're doing, or whatever.
I text people all the time and email and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk to you about a bunch of other stuff as well, but let's play a song from the new album. This one we're going to do, real funny, real quick here. We were talking off the air a second ago with Rex, and you were saying how this record, you're dying to play so much of it on the radio, but it's still over a month away from coming out, so we can only play 3 tracks. And I told you a funny story, and I'll share with the audience, which reminded me is, I don't know when it was, 10 years ago or what have you, when the Damage Plan record came out, this very show, this studio, Vinny and Dime had just come from mastering the record, and the mastering studio was literally next door, the building next door. So they bring the master, and they walk into my studio, and they're like, with the record company guy at the time, they're dying to play it. And the guy's like, no, can't. It's way too soon. We can't play it on the radio yet. So they get in. We start getting into other stuff, just talking about music, hanging out. And they get into, speaking of Zach, he had been there the couple weeks before he left a bottle of Jack. They get into that. They get into beers. We're just having a party in the studio. And
I know that's where this is heading.
Finally,
Dime could pull the wool over anybody's, Get you to do whatever.
Dime's getting the label guy into, a couple drinks and loosen him up a little bit.
That he was a very smart, bright light.
So they eventually it's like, okay, play one song. By the time we were done with that show, we must have played more than half the record. Because after one song, Dime or Vinny would get in my ear, screw this guy, play another one. Play another one. They were just dying to hear it on the radio. And we had such a great time that night, and I'll never forget it. And Zach had left me this bottle of Jack, and it was like half empty. And I remember Dime coming up to me, because they swore they were just going to drink beer. And he's like, you got anything a little stronger? And I'm like, Zach left a bottle of Jack if you want his backwash. Well, they went right to it. And before they left, they signed the bottle of Jack, and they wrote, to Eddie and Zach, thanks for the Jack, and left it on the counter, the empty bottle. Still got the bottle to this day on my office desk.
That's awesome.
Great memory. But the same thing, they were dying to play so much more of the record. Just
want people to hear it. You've been in the studio for, like with us, we wrote it over segments of time, but it's been 6 months. I just want people to hear this thing. Get it on the road.
Well, we're going to play one more song for you right now.
All right.
From the new album. It's called Leave It All Behind. Where did this come in the history of the record as far as
it was
the
one of the
periods
first
of time?
3 tracks that we did, actually. And we kept revisiting this with different melodies, and the vocals that came towards the middle or end. The chorus did. The chorus came towards the end. Very, very strong. Dewey is singing his ass off on this, and just Jeff did an incredible job of capturing that. Really did.
Let's do it. It's brand new for the first time anywhere from Kill Devil Hill. The track is called Leave It All Behind. The album is out October 29th. We got over an hour left to go. Rex Brown will be hanging out. We'll get into some other stuff as well in the final 60 minutes or so. It's Eddie Trunk. Brand new music. World premiere. Man, Dewey's going for it there, man.
Getting it.
It's the bowels of hell at the end of that scream.
Getting it.
Wow,
yeah,
amazing stuff. Kill Devil Hill, the new album. What's the title of the album again?
Revolution Rise.
Revolution Rise.
Revolution Rise.
Revolution Rise. Where did that come from? Whose mind was that born out of?
That was actually mine. I had it written down. Actually, I had something else. I don't know. It came around from between the band.
Not a song on the record, though, right? I'm just looking at your track listing here.
No, but it is going to be. There is a song called Revolution Rise. That's going to be a bonus track.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Okay, so a song does exist by that title. It's just not on the record.
Heavy.
Very, very cool.
Just didn't fit with the rest of the stuff.
So you mentioned you worked with Jeff Pilson, who everybody knows from Dokken and currently plays in Foreigner. And that was the first time you worked with him as a producer, right?
Correct.
What sort of stuff did he bring out of this for you? What sort of difference do you think he made?
Just an outside ear, just kind of brought him in from the very start. Vinny wanted to do his drums there, where it all started with. So he liked the drum sound in Jeff's studio, and Jeff said, well, let's get involved. So I said, well, why don't you and Jay Rustin, who mixes all of Killo's stuff.
Love Jay's work.
I call him the 5th member of the band.
Love his work.
He gets what we're doing and translates it into the powerful sounds that you hear. But, I brought them in early on to have those early years because I wanted them involved from step one. And so Jeff just started coming up with these ideas that we didn't even think of, because he comes from more of the Foreigner, and the Doc was more of a pop oriented, and we didn't necessarily we took those pop ideas and made them more our, take a song like You Can't Cuss on This Radio, Can You?
No.
Take Freaking Hostile, for instance. That was a really catchy tune. You know what I'm saying? But it was heavy, and then of course the subject matter and everything else. What I'm getting at is you can take a heavy song and make it catchy, or a powerful song and make it catchy. Well, that's really what Jeff brought to the table, and the vocals were more his forte. Between the three other guys in the band, we can get that rhythm section as tighter than hell. We don't need production for that, but he did bring to the table, just ideas, but nothing ever crammed down our throats.
Right. And I think Rex, that's the key. That was one of the huge keys to the success of Pantera, is that you guys were able to be a brutally heavy band, but still hooky as all hell,
Right,
whether it be in the melody or the groove or what have you. I mean, that was what made Pantera so unique. You had people such a cross-section of people that were into that band because without compromising, you found a way to really incorporate melody and groove and get your head moving, but also so heavy.
Catch your attention, right?
Yeah, it's that seems to be kind of the direction, same sort of approach you're going for as Kill Devil Hill progresses.
It's not modeled after anything. That's just the
no,
way,
I'm not saying it is, but that sort of
I
balance of melody versus power.
Yeah, that's the way I kind of write, and but a lot of these, most of these riffs came from, to start with, Mark would have, this ditty here, or we would put it together, but that's when it comes to arrangement and stuff like that, that's my forte. And then Dewey, with Jeff, and just had the incredible performances they got together. It was just between those two guys and and the three of us, kind of two separate teams, but everything was working in the same favor. We'd work on the song during the day, and the next day I'll be damned if Dewey didn't have something just brilliant.
Right.
And we'd just tweak it a little bit and put it down,
Talking live with Rex Brown, who's sitting in with me tonight. It's Eddie Trunk, October 29th. The new Kill Devil Hill album is available everywhere. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with our third and final hour. As I said, we'll close out the show. Our closing ballad will be one more new one from Kill Devil Hill about an hour from now. But we'll get into some other stuff. We'll play some other music, some other things we need to get into, and Rex will hang out with us, and we'll cover some more things with him as well. So we're a little over 60 left to go in tonight's show. Hang out. Much more to come.
This is Q104.3's Friday Night Rocks.
Let me tell you about the upcoming shows, but before I do that, let me remind you once again, and I'm going to be doing it throughout the course of the night. As I said to Rex earlier off the air, for 30 years I have bands in here promoting their stuff, and it's rare that I release something, so I'm hitting it hard to let everybody know about my book coming out on Tuesday. Everywhere books are sold, physically, digitally. This coming Tuesday is the official release date. It all launches at the Hard Rock, open to the public, 6:30 to 8:30 in the merch store right in the Hard Rock in Times Square here in New York City. Please come down. No admission of any kind. Pick up a book if you want. Just say hello if you want. The official book launch this Tuesday, 6:30 to 8:30, Hard Rock Cafe in Manhattan, Times Square. The other area signings off of that this Wednesday, Barnes & Noble, Route 10, Morris Plains, New Jersey. And this coming Thursday, Barnes & Noble, Staten Island. And then October 11th, Barnes & Noble, Eatontown, New Jersey. So please come out to the signings if you can make it. Love to see you and appreciate the support buying the book. Other things you need to know about. Not too many shows, as we start to get later in the year, things start to wind down a little bit. So we still have a few in the area, including UFO, October 6th at the Starland Ballroom, and the 15th, Stage 48, New York City. Rick Emmett, BB Kings, November 1st. Overkill and Creator, Stage 48, November 23rd and 24th. Also, was just given some tickets here to go see My Bloody Valentine. That's at Hammerstein Ballroom, November 11th. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com. We have a bunch of tickets here, so some random callers, you're in for free at 888-872-1043. Good luck on that, and look forward to seeing you all at the signings in the tri-state area next week. Appreciate it.
Does this guy know how to party or what? Huh?
Friday Night Rocks with Eddie Trunk, Q104.3.
Final hour of the show. It's Eddie Trunk, Rex Brown sitting in tonight as well. Also want to mention real quickly that we're getting closer now to the 30th anniversary party of this radio show, which is happening October 23rd at the Hard Rock in Times Square. And the band for the night will be the Winery Dogs, and they will also serve as the house band for many special surprise guests that'll be getting up and jamming throughout the night. And I've heard from a lot of very cool people that are going to be coming down and either just hanging out or getting up and playing. And Rex, certainly if you happen to be in New York, we'd love to have you there.
I got an invitation. We're going to, we're starting off the tour right then. And I got a big invitation in a big way, and I wanted to be there. Congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thanks. 30 years, who the hell knew,
Exactly.
It's crazy. But yeah, it's
Awesome,
going to be
man.
a lot of fun, man. And of course, anybody who's in New York, we're going to try to get
You're
down
going to have
and
a lot of
some fun.
surprises. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, well, my buddy Portnoy's working on some jams, and
Well, I
he's
got
in
it.
Europe, so I know he's been putting out some feelers. And I've heard from some people that I know are coming who are friends, but I'm not. Everybody's asking me who's it going to be. I'm sure there'll be some surprises for me, but I'm not telling the audience, like,
No,
because this
no.
is. I want the
It's gonna be
audience to be
big, man.
surprised with me. So everybody's like, "Well, who's coming, man?" And I'm like, "We'll find out together." But suffice it to say, it's going to be a fun night, and
yes.
the only way you can get in is by winning tickets. It's a free event. Wouldn't make much sense for me to say thank you to my audience for 30 years and charge them. So it's free to get in, but you do have to win to get in because obviously there's a limit at how many people we can put in the building. So the way we're doing it is just enter on my website. There's a banner there. Click on it. Give us your info. If you'll be in New York or willing to come to New York on the 23rd of October, we will get back to you with a confirmation. About every week, we're giving invites out to about 30 to 50 people with a guest to come. So you'll get a confirmation email if you're chosen, and we'll be selecting people right up until the date of the event. So if you didn't get a notice yet, hang in there. You still may. And if you didn't enter, be sure to do so on eddietrunk.com, and we'll let you know if you're in once we sort out how many people we have and how many more we can have. And it could very well be the day of the event we release a bunch of tickets as well. So it's totally free to get into. We just kind of have to govern how many get in, and it should be a very special night, and I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a lot of fun. So Rex, I was telling Rex during the break, I said, let's play some other stuff. What do you want to hear? And Rex wanted to hear some Montrose. And you picked one of the iconic great rock songs ever from one of the great records ever.
Absolutely.
The first Montrose album, the first time anybody heard Sammy Hagar sing, and Rock Candy. When was the first time you heard this?
Probably 70. It was way after the fact. You know, I was that would be dating myself. Probably 77 or 8, I want to say. 79 for sure, because I was playing it in a cover band.
Did a song like this get a lot of play in Texas? Did you hear it a lot when you were growing up? Or because for me, I didn't. I discovered it going back, becoming a Sammy Hagar fan and going back into his...
We had some pretty cool radio stations back in the day, back in the 70s. You know,
Yeah.
they used to have the Texas jams there and all that kind of stuff. And Sammy was always on the bill for those. You know, so, and that's because of, you know, Montrose. And plus, it's after he left Montrose, started a solo career. You know, so...
Did you go to a lot of those Texas jams?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
What was the best one you
Wouldn't tell
saw?
Mom. Van Halen. They had just came out. They'd just come out.
The
That was
first
70
album?
No. No, it was the second record. And
Van Halen 2.
yes, and they
So like
actually,
79 maybe.
I thought that came out in 78.
Maybe 78,
Trying
yeah.
to stump the trunk here. Not really, but no, I remember they freaking parachuted onto the deck at Texas Stadium. It was unreal.
Wow.
That or it was good acid or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there was no parachute at all, Rex. You were just
No,
tripping.
they actually did parachute on the friggin'.
Who else was on that bill?
Crap, I want to say Black Sabbath and who was the guy that did Children of the Sun?
Oh, Billy Thorpe.
Billy Thorpe. Yeah, and oh my God, you know, I was just a kid back then. You know?
You weren't
So
at the one when
bunch of-
Aerosmith played, were you? When Aerosmith headlined?
The very first one. No, but I saw the
video?
I saw them around that time when they were in the arena at Fort Worth Convention Center. Yeah.
Because there's a video. I think Aerosmith did it in '78, and there's a video of that they put out a video like 15 years ago. That performance.
Right.
I mean, those guys were
It wasn't. It was a
out
mess.
of their head.
Oh yeah.
Whacked out.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's some, you know, looking at it being such a psycho Aerosmith fan, there's kind of some, it's interesting to see that a band that loaded could still get up and play as well as they did. But
Oh no.
it's amazing when you look at how, when you think of all the bands today, like you can count on one hand the bands that are still all alive and still have their original lineup. And
True.
if you looked at that tape of Aerosmith at the
You would
Texas
have thought
Jam,
nobody would have made it to the 80s.
and you
Right.
think in 2013, it's still the same five guys. They're still
Right.
breathing. And oh, by the way, they're better than they've ever been because they're clean.
Right.
In a million years, you never thought they were making it the next day after you watched that tape.
They're still good. I don't know. I'm an old Aerosmith freak, so
Me too, but have you seen them live lately?
no, I have not seen them live.
Unbelievable. I mean, they're still unbelievable. But
Kicking it.
yeah.
All right.
And you mentioned we're about to play Montrose. Sammy Hagar, another complete freak in that way.
Totally.
And that this guy is 65 or whatever he is. And I was at a rock and roll fantasy camp with him earlier this year. He's going around to the guys in the studios, the campers, and gets up to one and they say, what do you want to play? And the kid says to him, Rock Candy.
Wow.
No warm-up, no nothing. Boom, boom, boom. Sammy grabs the microphone. I'm standing 2 feet from it and just belts it out like it's 1973. Effortlessly.
Holy crap.
Guy's 65 years old. I never saw anything like that in my life. And it's remarkable how he can still sing like that. So here we go.
That's killer, man.
Let's do it. This is Rock Candy, one of the great songs of all time from one of the iconic hard rock records of all time. The debut from Montrose, the late, great Ronnie Montrose, of course, on guitar. Eddie Trunk with Rex Brown hanging out for the next hour or a little under. Much more to get to. Well, Rex, you're going to be doing press for the new Kill Devil Hill record for a while.
Yeah, man.
And I don't know how many other radio shows you're going to do where they're going to play some Steeler for you.
Probably none.
Exactly.
This is the only place.
I don't think you're going to hear anybody that's going to even know who Steeler is, but I was going through the S's on my CDs.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I love my CDs so much, flipping through, and I said, how about some Steeler? And you're like, I haven't heard Steeler in 1,000 years.
The first thing came out of my mouth, Ron Keel.
Ron Keel.
Of all people.
Now, most people, with all respect to Ron, but most people say Yngwie Malmsteen.
Right.
Because that's the first time anybody heard Yngwie
but
play.
I don't know why. There was just a little flashback or something. I said, Ron Keel, Steeler, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but Yngwie was like 18 and just came to this country and just
very green.
Laid down all the lead guitar and then left the band.
Yeah. Then Rising Force was 6 months after that.
No, then Alcatraz.
Alcatraz, right.
Then Rising Force. So Yngwie could not be contained by any band. He needed to go do his own thing.
Still can, I don't think.
He wrote a book recently that he just sent me a copy of. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but when I get time, I look forward to reading it. Van Halen, Somebody Get Me a Doctor, Montrose, Rock Candy, Rex Brown sitting in. It's Eddie Trunk. Real quick, before we go to a break, speaking of books, your book came out a little while ago, and it's been out there now for a little bit. You did a whole press run. We had you on talking about that.
Yeah.
A lot of people really enjoyed the book. Now that it's been out and you've lived with it and fans have lived with it, what do most people tell you about it? Has it been mostly positive, all the response?
Just 99. I would say 97.9% positive. You know, the people that just read the lines, the one line. They didn't get the whole book. You got to read it from front to back. Basically. And I have a few things that I would probably, in hindsight, it's my first book, but I've got 600 pages sitting on the cutting room floor, just nothing but funny anecdotes,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You had that much cut out?
Oh, yeah. That's what I was saying. How do you put your life, your little career or whatever, or your life into 300 pages in a book? You really can't. So, down the road, we'll see.
Have you now? We talked about this before. You don't really speak with Vinny anymore, right?
Just on business matters, and no.
So he hasn't commented at all about the book, or he hasn't said anything about it to you.
Just through different circles, yes.
And what have you heard that he said?
Oh well,
not positive.
Not positive, but not nothing. Everything seems to be. Vinny seems to be a little better, about so. I'd love for all of us sit in the same room together, 3 surviving guys, and just, clear some air.
You think there's any chance that happens?
I don't know. I mean, my door's wide open. Philip's is.
Right.
I talk to Philip all the time.
Right.
We would love to do that. Just to clear the air. Nothing more.
Well, because, when you say that, the immediate thing, and it's been out there forever.
People will say, they're getting back together.
People want to say,
Sure.
You can do Pantera, you're going to get Zakk Wylde, you're going to go do this thing again. I mean, is there any side of you that would like to do that with another guitar player?
I think Yeah, I'd love to, man. Get up and play those old songs again, one time, last time, or whatever. Or, you know, I would much rather sit in a room and put closure to a lot of this, you know. And we spend a lot of our lives together, you know. This is, you know, it's life's too short.
So you and Phil are open to it. It's just that Vinny has shown no signs of wanting to.
No.
When you guys meet, when you guys have to get together for business, for Pantera business,
it's through, you know, it's through
people.
It's through business management, yeah.
So nobody's talking or nobody's on a conference call talking to each other.
You know, of course, we reply all, you know, and we have our 2 cents that we put in, and there's no squabbling or anything like that. Everything's, you know, professional.
What kind of stuff do?
Well, you know, we still put out these re-releases and merchandising and
Right.
all kinds of, just the branding name of the band and trying to keep the legacy alive, you know.
Which in some ways I imagine is maybe in the Pantera world bigger than ever. Because, I mean, you've got people discovering this band, younger people.
It's really, really unbelievable that, you know, this thing is still doing what it's doing, you know. Just, you know, we did a little, one of those, I don't know, would they get together and they figure out what your demographics are, you know, and we've got like 15 to 24-year-olds that are like, make up 50%, you know, 56% of the market of what they're buying out there. So I think it's, you know, maybe the all the fans from back in the day with the kids have turned them onto these records. You know, this is what the real deal is. You know, we live this. We just have diehard fans, man.
Well,
what
the
can
other
you say,
the other thing, the other similarity with Pantera that I see, very much the same as Metallica in the sense that, as I mentioned, this radio show being 30 years, in '83 is when it started. And it started with Kill 'Em All for me. I started playing that record when it was a new record. And when you think back to Kill 'Em All and you think back to those early days of Metallica, it was an underground, heavy band that nobody knew what to make of.
Sure.
And over the course of time, the music and things changed and evolved, and all of a sudden, this insanely heavy band that no one could ever envision being played on mainstream radio or played in sporting events or what have you, 20, 30 years later is
huge
everywhere and huge.
It's the body of work.
And it's the same thing that I see happening with Pantera's catalog, where all of a sudden when you first came out, it was this sledgehammer heavy stuff. Now you hear your songs in stadiums and
absolutely. And nobody would touch us back then, you know. We had a number one records and stuff like that, you know, and every record was in the top 5 except for Cowboys from Hell and Vulgar. But I mean, eventually it got there. You know, but radio wouldn't touch us. MTV certainly wouldn't, you know. So it was just, we just built and that was cool. We were kind of the underdog, kind of what Metallica was doing in '88. We just kind of took that with us, you know, in '92.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And just built around it and just, you know, and a lot of it has to do with the songs. You know, you just can't be just some hype band that, you know, it's not a Spinal Tap movie. You know, there has to be songs and substance there. You know, and those home videos sure help, you know, and going back and reliving the moment, you know.
You guys, you and Philip got up with Anthrax at the Golden Gods this year and did This Love. How is it for you to go on stage with Anselmo and play Pantera now? I mean, what?
We rehearsed for 2 days and just had a blast. It was basically like it was 1993 again. We were just, you know, there's some stuff, you know, somebody's asking me today, you were just talking about the book, and, you know, I think we talked about a whole 2 minutes. He said his 2 minutes worth of whatever, and we just got on down the road, you know. So rehearsing and doing all that was really fun. You know, we've known Charlie and those guys forever, and Frankie, and it was just, you know, and it's so weird of a day when, you know, Jeff dies and
Jeff Hanneman,
and for that song, you know, that we have been rehearsing for the last 2 days. So
that was going to be the song all along.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Amazing.
sure.
And is it emotional for you to play Pantera songs with Anselmo? Is it kind of, you know?
It just feels like second hat. You know, it's one of those things that we always did together. So it's not, we never did that in Down together.
Right.
You know, I don't do it in Kill Devil Hill.
I was going to ask you that. Would you ever consider playing a Pantera
I would
song in the
consider
live
it,
set?
but I don't. It's not the same, you know. And I don't want to. I'd rather play. I think the stuff we have is that's where I'm at musically right now.
Right.
You know, I don't want to unless it's the other guys. You know, then that would be really something special. And I think that that would be cool. But for me, it's about getting in that room and just shutting the doors off to everyone and getting done what needs to be done. But what do you do, man? You live your life and you got move on and be happy, man.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now. So.
Well, that's good, man. It's good that you're in that place. And I'll tell you, I mean, for the first tour for Kill Devil Hill, you only had one record to play. So
right. We just played the whole thing.
Now you got 2 records to play.
It's going to be awesome, man. I can't wait.
You can build a set list of, build out a set list a
It's
little bit
fun.
more with that much more material. And as you said, there's another bonus track, not even on the record. So
actually another 2. So.
And you want maybe work in a cover or something? Would you ever want to do something like that?
We actually did Lady Evil when we very first started. Yeah, that was part of the set.
Oh, that would have been cool to hear.
Our very first gig, we played Lady Evil. But I wanted to play something, and I've always loved that song, with Vinny playing drums. I was like, we got to play that song.
Yeah, of course.
Perfect song. It's kind of
one of my favorite albums of all time, Heaven and Hell.
Mine. Absolutely.
We got it, maybe.
And Mob Rules,
You know what? That's actually a good way to go into break. And we'll come out of the break and we'll do some Dio Sabbath because you can never go wrong there. Rex Brown is sitting in. The new Kill Devil Hill record is out October 29th. Be looking for that. Learn more about what's going on with the band at killdevilhillmusic.com, facebook.com/killdevilhillmusic. Once again, if you're listening to this show on Q1043, check out my new book, which is out this Tuesday. All the other places, if you're hearing this show, the book is out already. Eddie Trunk's Essential Hard Rock and Heavy Metal Volume 2, available wherever books are sold physically and digitally. Also, just launched a merch store on my website. Hit shop on eddietrunk.com. Shirts, hats, and some cool stuff for the first time in a long time. Check that out when you get a chance. And many asking about new episodes of That Metal Show, looking like the fall that we'll be shooting them, and may have some very cool news about what we're going to be doing in the future of the show. As soon as I can share it with you, I'll let you know, but there's some good stuff coming, so appreciate you guys watching all the repeats, and as soon as we get new ones going, I'll let you know when, where, how to get tickets, and all that sort of stuff. Got to take a break. We'll come back with more with Rex Brown, and we'll figure out what we're going to play from Sabbath right after this.
This is Q1043.
All right, there we are. Let me see what we got to tell you about. Let me see what I got tickets for you for. Andrew, did we give away all those other tickets before? We're good on that. Okay, very good. Moving right along. Please don't forget the area book signings again. This Tuesday, the 24th of September, the day of release, Hard Rock Cafe in Times Square, 6:30 to 8:30, my first signing for the new book. Please come down. Also this Wednesday, I'll be signing at Barnes & Noble, Morris Plains, New Jersey on Route 10, 7 to 9 p.m. This Thursday, Barnes & Noble on Staten Island, 7 to 9 p.m. October 11th, Barnes & Noble, Eatontown, New Jersey, 7 to 9 p.m. All the dates, including those local ones I just mentioned, on the homepage of eddietrunk.com for more information. Going to give you tickets now to, let me see if I got any UFO left. 1, 2, 3, nope, no more there. Here's what we're going to do. Overkill and Creators, Stage 48, November 23 and 24. Pick the day you'd like to go to. Free tickets right now, 888-872-1043. Good luck. Eddie Trunk here with Rex Brown hanging out. We're just talking off the air about the new Metallica movie, Through the Never, which I had a chance to see. Rex has not yet. And I was just telling him that I really enjoyed it from the standpoint of a concert film. And I think that a lot of people think that there's this storyline with the actor and all that they think that it's something much bigger than a concert film. And although there's some elements of that, it really at its core is a concert film. I couldn't tell you for the life of me. Listen, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, I know. Right. But I don't know what that storyline was supposed to mean. It's very loose. There's not a lot of it in the movie, quite honestly. So I look at it purely as a concert film.
I just want to go. I want to look at it. I've seen what I've seen. Previews of it or whatever. I think it looks really cool.
Shot amazing, looks amazing, the audio is amazing, the mix is great. I'm not a fan of 3D movies at all.
Yeah,
it is 3D. You got to wear those glasses. It's not. I hate doing that. It never looks crisp to me. And really, honestly,
it's not real.
Yeah, and the other thing about it is a movie like that, there's not a lot they did with 3D. I mean, there's only so many times you can see a guitar neck coming at your face or whatever. So none of that really sells the movie for me. What I loved about the movie was Metallica kicking ass, playing live, sounding, and the film looks amazing.
And they kick ass live,
And they kick ass, and the set list is really cool that they do in the film.
Right.
And the little extra stuff is very minimal. And then at the end, there's this thing where the stage kind of falls down and the kid runs across the stage. I couldn't for the life of me figure out what anything to do with the storyline was. But it's not about that. I mean, if the movie's an hour and a half, maybe 10 minutes of that hour and a half is this kid and this loose storyline. The other rest of it is a concert film.
But it's worth seeing.
Oh, for sure. If you're a Metallica fan, which anybody listening in our world is, but what I saw in the screening I went to was that there were people there, because I guess the movie's kind of being marketed as something more than a concert film, who were clearly not Metallica fans that were going to see a movie. Yeah, like reviewers and stuff.
I got you.
And, people that didn't look like they were into metal at all. And they went there thinking that the music was going to be a backdrop to this kind of film.
I see.
And the people next to me, two people next to me got up and left 3 songs in. As soon as they were into like Creeping Death and, hit the lights,
they're out of
these people
they're
weren't having it. They had no interest and they were like, okay, we see what this is. And they left. Meanwhile, all of us were like, yeah, hell yeah.
Exactly.
So
well, the hell with them.
Just have to be clear as to what it is. And, and it's not really a whole lot more than an extremely cool concert film. So and it's definitely worth seeing. Can't recommend it highly enough for my audience, but
go hit the IMAX when I get home.
Yeah, but if you're thinking it's like The Godfather with Metallica, it's a concert film. All right, let's. Rex talked about this, the Sabbath album "Heaven and Hell," one of our favorites, and this track "Lady Evil" we're going to do for you right now from 1980, if you can believe it was that long ago, but still sounding amazing. The late, great Ronnie James Dio, Geezer Butler, Bill Ward, and, of course, Tony Iommi from Heaven and Hell. That, of course, is Black Sabbath and Lady Evil. Rex Brown requesting that one, and would have loved to have heard you do that with Kill Devil Hill, man. You got to fire that one up again. That'd be great.
I have to. Who knows? Well, I doubt it now. We got 2 albums worth of stuff to play.
Yeah, it might be fun to still work in there, though. I don't know.
You never know.
You never know.
Throw it in one night.
When was the first time you saw Black Sabbath live? Was it with Dio? Because you're around the same age as me.
Yeah, yes, it was with. I didn't see him with Ozzy. I'll put it that way. Or no, I did not see him with Ozzy. That was a really kind of funky high school period. You know how your high school is just kind of that was a kind of transitional period for me.
But like me, did you get into Sabbath through the Dio years? Was that your introduction to Sabbath?
No, I had Volume 4 on 8-track when I was 10 years old, something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
For me, I got Heaven and Hell, which I would have been 15, 16 when I got it. I'll never forget it. For people who have seen from the Superstorm Sandy and now just recently, tragically, this fire on the Jersey Shore Boardwalk, that same boardwalk that got decimated twice that I've gone to my whole life and still do to this day, I grew up going there. And I used to get a lot of records and get turned on to a lot of records because back when I was a kid, the stands, they'd have a wheel. You put the quarter down, the number would spin, you'd put it on 12. If the 12 came up, you could pick any record. You'd win a record. And they had all the album jackets up behind the wheel.
That's cool.
So I can't tell you how many bands I got into because I'd play the wheel as a little kid. And then if and when I won, my only basis for deciding what record to get was what the cover looked like. Because all the covers that they had were on the wall. And I saw this cover of Angels smoking cigarettes. And I'm like, well, that's going to piss my parents off. I'll take that one. And then I got home and I put it on and it opens with Neon Nights. And it was like, game over. This is insane.
Absolutely.
And
I remember when the records came out. Yeah. I mean, that was, I was on a big Van Halen kick and then Dio and Sabbath. that was definitely the big thing. And then, of course, the Ozzy records that came out.
Right.
after that.
The next one I got was We Sold Our Souls, the compilation.
Right.
So then that's how I got into and to this day, I still, because I got into Sabbath, and there's a couple other bands like this too, that I got into them initially with compilations, it's still hard for me to place what songs are from what studio albums. Because my introduction to those songs were in a double album compilation. So I think of it like that, not in the sense of, that's on Paranoid, that's on Master of Reality. It's all just Sabbath to me. It's not. It wasn't like Kiss where I went album by album and know every song.
I was going to iTunes the other day and I couldn't find a song. It was off one of the first record, right? And you can't get it on iTunes.
For what band?
For Sabbath. I couldn't find it.
From the very first Sabbath record?
The very first, all the Ozzy records. I could not find anything on it, just from Ronnie on. Kind of weird. I don't know why.
Yeah, everybody has a different rules about that sort of stuff. I'm still living in the CD world, man. I won't give them up.
I know.
From my cold, dead hands.
Mine was like, I want to hear
CDs.
the song and just get it real quick.
Right, I got you.
But it's one of those, and I rarely ever do that. I get the record, but all my CDs are like, anyway, long story, and we don't have enough time.
All right. Well, we got to take a break because we need time to play one more new Kill Devil Hill song, which we're going to end the show with and get to right after this as we wrap it up. So hang out.
Q1043's Friday Night Rocks with Eddie Trunk.
All right. So, again, one final reminder because we're wrapping up here. Again, go see UFO. Which they are playing October 6th at Starland Ballroom, October 15th, Stage 48 in New York. Rick Emmett of Triumph, BB King's November 1st, Overkill and Creator November 23rd, 24th, Stage 48. All those dates on my site, all those shows I am presenting. The next couple weeks, this show is going to be recorded. It'll be all new, but not live for my Q1043 audience because I'm about to go on a book tour for a couple weeks across the country signing my new book, Volume 2, which comes out this Tuesday, everywhere books are sold. Again, one last time, signings Tuesday, Hard Rock, Times Square, 6:30 to 8:30. Wednesday, Barnes & Noble, Morris Plains, New Jersey on Route 10, 7 to 9. Thursday, Barnes & Noble on Staten Island, 7 to 9. And then I go across the country, and then I come back and do another Jersey, October 11th, Barnes & Noble, Eatontown, New Jersey, 7 to 9. Please see the homepage on eddietrunk.com for all the dates and all the signings, especially those local ones. Love to see you there, especially for the book launch this Tuesday at the Hard Rock at 6:30. We took care of all our giveaways, so we're good on that. Let's wrap up the show. We'll come back with the closing ballad from Kill Devil Hill, something new. All right, we are out of time. Thank you so much for listening wherever, whenever, however you do it. And appreciate you checking out, again, my new book out everywhere. September 24th, out now. So pick it up wherever you buy books, Volume 2. Check out the new Kill Devil Hill record, October 29th. And it sounds great, man. Congratulations on this, Rex. And congrats to the other guys, too. They all sound killer on this, and I wish you the best of luck. And we'll be hearing more about it, of course, as we get closer to the release. Go to killdevilhillmusic.com, facebook.com/killdevilhillmusic for more information. Stay healthy, man. I'm happy for you. You look great.
Absolutely.
Sounding great with the band. And this is our closing ballad from Kill Devil Hill. The song is called Long Way From Home from the new album. One more new one to premiere for you tonight. See you guys next week with Ted Nugent as my guest. You don't want to miss that. Have a good one.